Problem is not working. How problem will work? Solution works, not problem. So let's have a quick recap of what we did. In the same thing I have given to you also as a task. Done or not? Done? Post your errors quickly if you are getting any. Okay, very good. My Java version is 23, showing version incompatible issues while running. Java 23 you will not get any error. See, there might be any other error if you just bean factory not initialized or already closed. Define a bean and write the XML DTD. If you are getting the error bean factory not initialized, so it means that there is some error in this DTD, document type definition, this one. Let's see what IOC container is actually doing. By the way, this method is called XML based configuration. We have Java based configuration also, where configuration will be done by using Java instead of this XML. So let's say this is your Java application. It's not managing the object. There is a container in the Spring framework that we call as IOC container, inversion of control container, which will manage the object of anything. Now we are saying that we are working on unsupported class version error. Compiled by your session. It's the Eclipse error, not the Spring Boot error. For that you do one thing, you change the JRE of your system. You can right click on your project and you will see something as build path, then configure build path. From there you will see libraries. You can delete this JRE and add the latest one. It will work. So how this, which is most used in Spring XML or annotation? I will not give this answer. I will just do the annotation based configuration and you see which one will be used. Obviously we are a Java developer, so we will try to write most of our code in Java. We'll not write SQL queries, we'll not write XML and those kind of things. So here, let's say there is a student object, student S. So the kind of, we can say that there is a student class and object we are fetching from this container. So can we only fetch the container or we can fetch the values as well? Generally, I will create a very simple program. Let's say there is a student class in which we are having private int id and private string name, something like that we are having, along with the getters and setters. So now, can we set the static values? Before that, there is a question. And this is the question: is Java a dynamically typed language or statically typed language? Java is statically typed or dynamically typed? Both. Prove it. Prove how Java is dynamically typed or how statically typed. What is actually meant by dynamically typed and statically typed? Sorry, when we are running the slowly, when we are running the program, we are giving the values on runtime. That is dynamically typed. And what is statically typed? Within the program itself. No use of scanner class. No use of buffer reader. Wrong answer. Shankar, prove it how it is dynamically typed and statically typed. One more hint. Here typed doesn't mean typing. Here typed means about data type. Now Java is statically typed or dynamically typed? Obviously Java is statically typed language, not dynamically typed. By this statically typed we means, let's say in how many of you have seen Python? Just seen it. Python. Have you seen Python? Where? In college, forest. Wow. So in Python you can write like this: name equals to Shivam. College only. I'm not talking about your friends. In Java, can we write like this: name equals to Shivam? String name equals to Shivam. Necessary? String is writing string before name is necessary or not? Necessary means, sorry, sorry, written type. String name equals to Shivam. Who is saying this? No. Anyways, so in Java, it is mandatory to write the data type if you are writing any value. Can you write like this? Num equals to 5. You have to write what? Byte, like any data type. So that's what we mean, that you have to define the data type before using any value. Before using any value. Why? Because Java is a statically typed language. Statically typed means Java is a statically typed language because we have to declare the data type before using any value. So as soon as you want to use any value, let's say I will say num equals to 10. Now as a human being, I know the value of number is 10. There is a variable whose value is 10. But you have to convey this same message to Java that boss, this is a number. You have to treat it as a number. So you can write here int, short, byte, long, double, float. Can we write double and float or not? Float num equals to 10. Can we write? F. Why? Sorry? Why? Anyways, let's take our discussion back to statically typed language. So Java is statically typed language because we have to declare the data type in the starting itself. Now we are coming here on this particular part. Let's say you have a Java application, application, any application, and there is a IOC container which is managing the object of student class. So can we say that object is like a, what is the relation between class and object? Sorry, easy. What is that easy? Like for class we say that it's a blueprint of object, or for object we say it's a blueprint of class. What is the relation between class and object? Which one is the blueprint? Anyways, let's take it here. So IOC container is managing the object of student class. Screen is not visible. Is my screen visible, guys? Those who are joining online. Kalpana, check your internet connection and try to rejoin. So when we are saying that student is a object, right? Then have you ever seen an object without values? Let's say I am also an object. I am an object of human being. Can I say that I am an object of human being? I will have name and age, right? So have you ever seen any object without values? Obviously no, class will have some values. So what we will do is, there is a student class where we are having private int id and private string name. Shall we assign some primitive values like id is 10 and name is equals to Shivam? Like this we can do that. id is 10 and name as Shivam. Java is statically typed, right? Num equals to 10. Num is equals to 10. Is there any error? Is it there any error? Yes, of course, there is an error. Find out where is the error. You might be seeing a red blink here, right? So it will tell that okay, here is some error is persisting, right? Kind of things. Let's write this value here. Where is the error? Here. It means that you cannot write directly. You have to attach a data type. Now you know that this is a number value. Java don't know. So you have to tell that this is a integer number, right? Java is statically typed. Remember this. Now to the student, I have given some random values that ID is 10 and name as Shivam. Let's go to the main class where we are doing a lot of things. But right now we will comment all those things and we will directly create the object of student. What we will do? Student as equals to new student. Like directly we will create it. Student as equals to new student. And now we will try to print the student's name and ID. So s dot get ID plus with some space s dot get name. If I am creating object in this way, what is the expected value that it will print? NN Shivam. 0 and null. Why 0 and null? 10 and Shivam. Why? Because directly you are asking the class to create object. So class is giving you some of the primitive values. Now if you change the value, ID I will change to 5 and name I will change to, let's say, Shivam Thakur. Now this time ID will be 5 and name will be Shivam Thakur. Now this object is directly coming from student class 5 and Shivam Thakur. Do you believe that in a class there will be only one student? No. The collective strength of our Spring Boot class is more than 100. So how to handle that 100 students data? Now, this is what we are doing. Values are coming from the class itself. Now, can we alter or can we change these values? Setter method is there. So let's try to do that. As dot set id. id I will set to 999. After that, as dot set name. Name I will set to anything. Let's say XYZ. Here, if I am printing the values again, what is the expected output? 999 XYZ. So here the class is by default managing two values, and that is called fully controlling the things. Now if you don't have setter methods, let's say we don't have setter method, again we will get those previous values. Those are 5 and Shivam Thakur. Now our case is like what we are discussing today is setting the values in bean. Setting the value in bean. How we can set the value inside a bean? Because we don't want to depend on class. Because here we are dependent on class. So whatever value class is giving, we have to use that. What if class has stopped giving any value? This time class is not giving any value. Now if I am running the main file, what will be the expected output? 0 and null. Why 0 and null? Integer. Why 0 and null only? Because they are the default value. They are the default value. This is a bean, right? Bean class equals to com dot first string dot student means fully qualified class name, and here we have written one id. So the first thing that we are going to discuss today, how to create object, not create actually, because if we are using container, we are not creating object, we are fetching the object. I will remove the comment from here. How to fetch object from the container by using id, because in the bean, in the declaration of bean, we are defining something as id. So can we fetch an object? Let's try. So in app.java, first let's see what we are doing. There is a string of path. To our Java application, we are telling that where is my XML file. So I have kept slash application context.xml because it is available inside my class path. After that, we are creating a application context container. We have two type of containers, right? One is application context. Another one is bean factory. Why we are not using bean factory? Huh? It's outdated, it's deprecated, and it is removed also. We can still use it by other methods, but it's not a good practice to use bean factory. Application context is the modern method. So here we are creating a container and then we are just printing that container is created. So we will run the file. and we got our output as container is created. Now when container is created, container is having a bean of student with a id stu. So what I will do here, I will create student s, student s, but I will not use the new operator like new student. I will not use this old method, because by using this method class is controlling all the values. Here I will ask the container, what is the name of your container here? Container only is your name. So I will call the container. Container dot, I will ask the container get bean. Container dot get bean. Now inside this, last time we were writing the class name, something like this, student dot class. But this time we will not write the class name. I will write a string value. Get bean and string value whatever ID you have written. Let's say your ID is stu1. That is your string there. So here I will say container dot get bean stu1. As this is not fetching any class now, you have to cast this to student. You know casting? Casting in Java? Casting in Java, you know, I'm not asking type. Casting in Java. What is casting? Don't know? No? Yes or no? What is casting? Loudly. Just one example. Please, loudly. Conversion of data type. Or we can say whenever we want to change one type of value to another type of value. So here our expected type is student. This value will return a object. So cast it to student. This is how we do casting. What is this type of casting called? Downcasting. Typecasting. There are two type of casting, by the way. Let me write it once. The first type is called widening and another is called narrowing. Now tell me, which is this type of casting, widening or narrowing? Or the name that you might have studied is implicit casting and explicit casting, right? Explicit, like how? Explicitly. So here we have created the object by taking it from container. Now anyways we can do as dot set id. id I will set to 99. As dot set name. Name I will set to any name, let's say Srikar. After that I will print as dot get id with the space as dot get name. Now while I am running the project, what is the expected output? At first container is created, then 99 and Shrikar. Now Spring is not only creating the object here, it can give the values also. What it can do? It can give values also. How it will give values? How to fetch object from the container by using id. For that, this should be the structure of your bean in this way, right? This is how your bean should look. While you are creating the object, you just have to do the casting and rest is same. Like this. we can fetch any object by giving the ID of the bean. Right? We can give the ID of the bean. Understood this part? That we can fetch any object by giving the ID instead of class. But if we are giving ID, we have to cast the object to the class, whatever the class is. Now, if Spring is able to do everything, this is our tagline, right? That Spring is able to do everything. Why we have to set the ID and set the name here? Now, the next topic is this only. How to set the values in the bean. Still we are discussing about XML based configuration only. After this we will move towards Java based configuration. Let's say this is a human being. Just don't go on the drawing, see the thing. Let's say this is a human being. Now as a human being, two things are fixed. That you will have some name and you will have some age, right? Is it fixed or not? Yeah, it is fixed. Sorry, age is not fixed. What is your age? 27. Fixed or not? I am asking, fixed means you will have that value or not? Fixed, right? That's what I am asking. Fixed means I am not saying that it will not change. It will change. Fixed means you will have that value. Now let's say name is Shrikar and age is 27. This is what I am saying here. Can I say that Shrikar is a, or name is a property and Shrikar is a value? Can I say this or not? If I want to say that this age is a property, age is a property, and 27 is the value of that property. Can we say this or not? Yes, we can say. Now, if name is a property, Shrikar is the value. So, same concept applies in the bean also. So, inside this bean, I will create a property tag. What I will create? Property empty tag. Right? It will show error for now. Just leave it. What I will do? I will just create a property tag. I am saying tag only. So tag looks like this. Very simple, with the opening tag and the closing tag. Opening tag means say no problem. Opening tag means the property will be written inside angular brackets. We call them angular brackets. Closing tag will be written the same way with a slash, forward slash, closing tag. So this is a property tag I have written. A property has two things. Property is name and property is value. So here also this property tag will have two things. Name equals to something and value equals to something. Got it or not? Each and every property has two things. Property is name. Let's say age. Age is the property name and 27 is the property's value. So each property tag will have two attributes, name and value. Now what is the property name we should write? Go to student class, because here we are creating object of student class. In the student class you have two properties. Their name is First is id, second is name. We have two properties. So here I will write property name equals to id, property name equals to id, and value is 11, right? We have one more property, property tag itself. Again it will have two attributes, name equals to something, after that value equals to something. This time the property name is name, and value, any value you can write Srikar. What does it mean? Let's do the same thing again. As of now, for a minute I will remove this property tag. Bean is alone. Student as equals to container dot get bean with the id stu1 beside it. If I am running the code, get the id of student and the name of student. This id means roll number or any id you can say. If I am running this, what is the default value? 0 and null. Now I will keep the properties tag back with their name, value, property name and their value. If I am running the code now, what will be the output? 11 and Srikar. But how? Surprisingly, right? No surprise, just pure logic. When you created a bean, at that time only you given the values to properties. That's it. Now Spring is actually having your data. Let's say this is only one value. This is only one value. What is the good logic in that? Same one type of values we can write here, that id equals to 11 and name equals to Srikar. We can write or not? Of course we can write. Then what is the good logic there? Their good logic is, can you write two values here for id? Can you write two names here? Primitive values. When they are primitive values, but we will have more than one student in every class, then class will fail here. But not the Spring. One bean is completed. You just create one more bean. Again, one bean tag I will create. Bean has two things. At first it has a class. Class means always you have to write fully qualified class name. What you have to write? Fully qualified class name. And fully qualified class name always has package dot sub package dot class. So we are creating the object of student class package. This is our package. Com dot first is our main package. Then first Spring is sub package. I will copy this and give it here. Dot class name is student. So Bean is having class. Same way I will give it a id. id equals to stu. id equals to stu2 means student2. Can we write some different values here in properties? So again the property tag we will write. It has two things. Refer to the same example. Each and every property has two parameters. One parameter is called properties name and another is called properties value. Same thing you did here. That property name equals to id. Then after value equals to 12. Value equals to 12. Then we got property name equals to name and value equals to anything you can keep here. Let's say Shankar. You can self-enclose the tag or you can close it. Understand the self-enclosing of tags. Let me explain it once. Self-enclosing tags. Now let's say you have a tag. Generally, I ask this question that why image tag is singular, why BR tag is singular, why HR tag is singular tag. So the reason is they don't have anything to write in between. Let's say we are writing H1 tag. Now we have some content to write between this H1 tag. Let's say my name is Shivam. We have this content to write in between. But in case of image tag, do you have anything to write in between? No. Because image require two attributes, SRC attribute and alt attribute. So that's why it's not required. When this is not required, where we are closing the tag. In HTML there is no error, right? You can write anything, there is no error. But in other things, advanced thing, there is an error. For that you have to self-enclose this, means slash and closing angular bracket, self-enclose. So here also our property is not having anything in between. You can self-enclose the tag like this. This is called self-enclosing tag. Anyways, let's keep it. Now we have a bean for second student, that is STU. How we will call this, by the way? Same method, right? So here we are printing the value for first student. Let's call the second student. So here one comment we will write, fetching the object of second student. For that, student S2, why cannot we write student S? Because already defined. Here we are already using something as S. So student S2 equals to container dot get p. Now tell me one thing. Is it a good method to fetch the object with class or fetch the object with ID? Class. Why? Let me explain this. So what we will do here, we will fetch by using ID only. That is STU. Again, you are fetching an object directly. So we have to cast it. Cast it in a student. Now again we will be printing the things. So same print command where s2.getID, s2.getName. So there are two students and class is not having anything. We are giving all the values to Spring and Spring is managing everything in the container. Now this is going to be inversion of control. Now class is not controlling anything. We are just writing the values. Now let's run it again. Now while I am running the project, what will be the output? So first print message is this one. Container is created. After that we are printing student S. Student S means 11 and Shrikar. After that 12 and Shankar. Kind of values will get. Container is created. 11 Shrikar. 12 Shankar. Within the meantime, I asked you a question that is it a good way to create object by IDs or by class? Let me sort it out. So what we will do, this code I will comment out for a minute and here I will say student as equals to container dot get b and here I will write student dot class. And this time I am fetching the object to class instead of ID. While I am running this, what is the output? container is created. This is the output. After that, which student it has to fetch? How you know first student? Okay, what is the definition of first student? Let's say this is a spring class and around 20-30 people are sitting here. Who is the first student here? What is the criteria that you will find first student? Will you sort in alphabetical order? Let's say whose name starting with A is the first student. What is your criteria for that? Forget programming. I am asking in this room who is the first student. There can be many criteria. You can fetch, okay, this student came first in the class. He is the first one. My name starts from A. I am the first. My roll number is 1. I am the first. There are many criteria. Anyways, when you are creating object and fetching using class, let's run this file. Container is created. After that, error. Now, error is actually very surprising here. If you read the error, no qualifying bean of type available. And reason is expected single matching bean but found true. Now your compiler is telling you that you are trying to fetch the bean of student class. I am expecting that there will be only one bean, but I got stu1 and stu2. Which one I have to return? I can't decide which one is the first, so I am not returning anything. There are methods. You can decide the priority of them. There are methods. We can decide the priority, alphabetical order or any, but we are not discussing that. So now I am asking the same question again. Is which one is the good method of creating object, by using ID or by using class? By using ID. Why? Because there is no confusion in the compiler. In the same way, we can create third bean, means third student. Just remember, ID should be different. This particular ID should be stu3. Value you can keep same or different, doesn't matter, right? Value you can keep same, doesn't matter. Let's say 13 and here something, anything will create. Let's say Deepak, any name, I'm just writing it. This time we'll do the same thing again, creating the container by using ID. Let's create the third student now. Fetching the object of third student. Same thing almost we will do, right? But here it will be student S3 and we want to get the bean from student 3. And here we will print s3.getId, s3.get name. This is what we will get here. While I am running the code, is there any confusion between the compiler? Obviously there is no confusion and we will get our output here. Container is created, 11 Srikar, 12 Shankar, 13 Deepak. Got it? Any confusion? So we can set the properties. Now, one question I will ask. Who is managing the values? Spring or the class? It is written inside application context.xml, means container is having everything, right? Container is having everything. Spring is managing the things. Let me relate these things to a real life example. Let's say Just a normal example. There is a basket. Understand what is basket? To keep something like fruits and vegetables. Let's say inside that you have 10 apples, and this is kept inside your kitchen. Now what happened mistakenly? This basket fell down on the floor. All the apples were running here and there. Now, do you have any control on these apples? No. You have to put efforts to take them in control. So let's say this is one apple. Just think it is not apple, I know, but just think that this is apple. In the same way, one apple will be here, one will be here, one will be. You don't have any control over them. Now, if you want to take control of these apple, what is the option? Let's say they are still on the floor. They will be moving here and there. Mistakenly, someone will keep their feet on these apples. That's not good. So what we will do, we will create a basket and we will pick one apple and keep the apples inside basket. Now all the apples are in control or not? Obviously all the apples are in control. Why they are in control? Because all of them are available inside a container. Basket means container here. So that's how your Spring is managing everything. Now, understood this or not? If you have any question in what we did today, please go ahead and ask. If you have any question in this part, setting the properties. Name and ID, how to get served. Like what is your main question? Where you want to get name and ID? Lucky, where you want to get name and ID? Please elaborate your question in student class. They are already coming. If you are writing property tag, these values are already going to student.java. Okay, now what we will do is inside this we are having setter method, one setter method for id and one setter method for name. What will happen if I am removing these setter methods, or let's say comment out? Commenting means they will not work. So setter method for id I have commented. Score. And the setter method for name also we will comment out. Now we are just having get the id and get the name. Here what will happen if I'm running the program? Just think. Normally I'm asking what will happen if we are running the program? Will we get any error? Why? Of course we will get error. Why didn't you thought in that way? Sir, if we need 100 student data, we need to create 100 properties. No, we do not need to get 100 properties. Just wait, I am taking you slowly to that part only. Generally, we are not talking about object creation. We are just dealing with it. Now just read the error. Spring framework context dot support abstract application context refresh. To read the error. Error creating bean with name stu1 defined in class path resource invalid property id of bean class. Bean property id is not writing How to create a XML file? I didn't got. If you didn't got a file, so just right click on your src main java, right click, then you will see a new option, and then you will see a file option. Then you can write the name, that is application context dot xml. By the way, this application context is standard name. Here you can write anything. You can write container.xml, but try to write application context.xml so that in future you are not having any confusion while you are opening the code. So what is the error that we are facing here? It is telling that id is not writable. What it is telling? id is not writable. What does it mean id is not writable? It is telling that, boss, I am trying to set the value of id as 11, but in a student class there is no setter method for id. So technically your setter method is working directly without calling, but this property tag internally is calling setter method only, because here it is setting the values. Got it or not? Got it? Got it? Oh, very good. So if we remove the comment from id and if we remove the comment from both the method, this time this property method is trying to set the values directly. So is this calling setter method only internally going on? We are not able to see that part, that how it is calling the setter method. So these values are going to a class only. These values are going to class only. Now, just for a reference, in the set id method, I will write something. So inside this, I have written setter for id is called. What I am printing to the console? Setter for id is called. Now let's run the file. What is happening here? Setter for id is called is actually getting printed 3 times. But why it is getting printed 3 times? Exactly, because in application.context we have 3 students. So first bean is getting created here, property name equals to id. When you are writing property name equals to id, at that time only it will call the set id method. How we know? Because that line is getting printed to console. That's why I have attached this line here, that whenever this set id method is getting called, it should print this line, right? Let's run the main app. Setter id is called, setter for id is called 3 times, and after that our main output. Do you see one more thing here? Which file is running at first? Which file is running as first? I am asking which file is running first. XML file, right? I know that you will say XML only. So here what I will do, in the main app I will write a print message that main file is working. Which one is working at first? Main file is app.java. I know that by seeing setter for id is called, you will say XML file, but no, that's not the right answer. Java is a object oriented language, right? Where Java start executing the program from the main method. So public static void main, it will go inside. Then this part got printed that main file is working. After this string path. After that, what happened? My compiler tried to find a file, application context.xml. Then it created the container. While creating the container, compiler went to this file and did all these things. While doing these things, compiler called the setter here, and setter here also it is calling, but we are not printing it. So at first your main file is working. After that your student context, then it is calling the student class for doing these kind of things. Now, did you understood the entire flow, or is there any error? If you have any confusion, please go ahead and ask. So how to set the value in B? The answer is, as a class has different fields, as a class has different fields, we can say them properties. We can say them properties. So in the same way, the values are written inside the bean by using property tag. By using property tag like this. If I am highlighting any particular text with yellow color, what does it mean? It's the source code. So like this, property name equals to id. Name means you have to write the same name as class is having. If class is having something like this IDD, then there you have to write IDD. You have to match it with class. Got it or not? Got it? If you have any question in this particular part, go ahead and ask. Just writing the property and their value. All clear? All clear? All clear? Huh? Which one clear? Yeah. If you got any question, whether you are joining online, offline, just call it. We are taking the variable from the interface or directly taken in student class. First of all, there is no interface here. You can call that application context is a that kind of thing. But again, container is managing all the values. Values are going to class but managed by container. Managed by container. Any question? Sir, why you write name equals to name? What is the use of this? Afrin, this is the getters and setter. Like this you are asking, or in here you are asking name equals to name. Just confirm, are you asking about bean or class? Afrin, just confirm it, what you are asking about, bean or class? I hope you are asking about bean only. So just one change. If your student class is having private string, what else we can call to name? Any very synonym of name? Private string identity. But already we are having id, so private string, let's say face or title. Yes, private string title. Here if your field name is title, so in bean you will write property. The name of property is title and the value of property is Shankar. As student class was having a property as a name, so that's why I have written name equals to name. I hope it's clear now. Expand the pack. Which pack, Lucky? Already package is expanded here. Nothing is there. One app.java, one student.java, and then application context. That's it. Understood the setting the values? Sorted. Now we are going to have a thorough discussion over beans. We have already seen what are beans, but this time we'll give you a complete dedicated theory notes about beans. How I have defined the beans previously, that they are the Java objects, right? Very in simple terms, we can say that they are the Java objects. As we are creating it here, right? Like this is one object, this is third object, this is first object, this is second object. So they are the object only. A spring bean can be defined as a Java object managed by, who is managing this object? In Spring, who is managing? IOC container. IOC is a principal, but who manages that? IOC container. So a Spring Bean can be defined as a Java object managed by IOC container. How you will define the word IOC? What is IOC? IOC is inversion of control. So this is a object. Beans can be seen as the backbone of Spring application. They are the backbone. What is the role of backbone in human body? Stand properly. Okay, then else, apart from standing properly, because every time we are not standing, right? This time we are sitting. What is the role of backbone in human body? Supporting. Like how? Base. Sorry? Backbone is responsible for connecting each and entire part of your body, right? You might have seen your elders talking about that never hit here and here. Why? Have seen this, that never hit here and here. But why? Like backward part of your neck and your head, top part. Because here we got brain, that never works. Here we got spinal cord. Spinal cord means a particular bone or nerves which are connecting your brain with your backbone. And your backbone is controlling all the things in your body. So that's why we are calling it as the backbone. In a Spring application, these beans are the backbone. Now, if you are thinking that we have to write this much, so answer is no. We will write a simple tag, or we will write a simple annotation at the rate of bean like this. Our work is done. Entire bean will be created. But that is for tomorrow, like Java based configuration. Not here, we'll do. Now, what is it? So bean can be seen as the backbone of Spring application. Lucky, what happened? A Spring bean, or we can say a bean, is created, assembled, instantiated and controlled by, who controls it? IOC container, or here you can say Spring framework. Like as a whole you can say Spring framework. Now how to define a bean? How to define, or you can say configure a bean? How many methods we have? One we just did now. So the answer is we can define the bean using 3 methods, out of which first is XML based configuration that we are doing right now. XML based configuration. Second is Java based configuration, and third one is annotation based configuration. Now when we are doing Java based configuration and annotation based configuration, you will see them, they are same, but there will be a little difference. Rest all will be the same, which is already done, right? XML based configuration is already done or not? This is only XML based configuration. Tomorrow we will do Java based configuration. Java based configuration means when we are already as a Java developer, we did core Java, we did advanced Java. Now why we are writing XML? Java will do it for you. So we will do Java based configuration. Annotation based, they are same. I will call them that they are 90% same. Rest we will see tomorrow how we can do them, right? So these are the beans. There is one important topic, life cycle life cycle of spring bean. What is the life cycle of spring bean? Forget spring bean. Sir, by using constructor take the parameters. But why? This is the simple way of creating class. If you are using constructor, then you have to write this dot id equals to I, this dot name equals to n. I am not making it complicated. Life cycle of spring bean. Forget the spring bean. What is life cycle in general way? Life cycle. So we can say that the time from birth to death is the life cycle. In case of human being, what is the stages? In the first stage, we are the newborn babies. All of us are newborn babies. In the second stage of our life, we become a toddler. Toddler means you just started crawling. Crawling means you are learning how to walk on your knees. You are just whatever. After the toddler stage, you become an infant. That now you are able to walk properly, you are able to sit properly, but you don't know. Let's say someone is giving knife in your hand, you don't know what is knife and you will cut your hand. That is called infant stage. After infant, we become a boy or girl, like mature people. Then we become teenager, then matured age. And by matured age, I am talking about a period of collective period. After that, you will become old, and at last stage, you are going to say goodbye. Right? This is the goodbye stage. So this is the life cycle of human being. In the same way, we have life cycle of beings also. Means how being will get birth, how they will get died. First of all, who will define the life cycle of bean? Obviously Spring or the IOC container. According to you, what is the first stage of the life cycle of bean? Sorry? creation, or we can say instantiation. Instantiation. Instantiation means creation only, when the bean is created. So the first stage of any bean life cycle is instantiation is a stage. Instantiation is a stage where a spring container creates the bean. First is instantiation, where bean will be created. What will be the second method? Think again and think wisely. I will open the file. This is the file. Here you created a bean. What is the second thing you did? Setting the properties or not? This is the second state, that setting the properties. Generally, in the terms of Spring, we call that is populating properties. Means setting the properties only. This is a name, technical term. Populating properties. What we are doing in this stage? In this stage, values are assigned. There is one method or one part that is called dependency injection. We will see that part in this method only. That in this stage, value are assigned, or dependency injection is, or dependency is injected. We are doing this in the next part, so don't worry. Then according to you, what will be the third method? Third, what you are doing after setting the properties? Loudly, loudly. Perform in class means calling the setter id, setter name method. This is what you are saying? Kind of. That phase is called post construct, not execution. Execution is far ahead. This part is called post construct. What this is called? Post construct or post initialized. This part is called post initialized. Means while you are creating the bean and you are setting the property, what will happen after that? Immediately. So what will happen? That part is called post initialized processing phase. What will happen in this phase? So there is something called at the rate of post construct, right? Will be called, I will explain this, but this is the next method. After bean is created, now it is ready to use. You can use it outside. So the fourth stage is ready to use phase, or ready to use stage. Ready to use. Now bean is already all now. Now bean is ready to be used in the application. Now you can use the bean in the application. What will happen once you are using the bean? Is there any other processes left? There is very finite thing. Those who have come, they have to go. Return ticket of all of us is already booked, right? So in case of beans also, return ticket is booked. By return ticket means there is a phase where we will say goodbye. But before goodbye, there will come as pre-destruction phase. Pre-destruction phase. Generally, before saying goodbye, there is a phase of suffering where breathing problem and other problems may come. That is in case of beans, that is called pre-destruction phase. So there will something come as a annotation. That annotation is at the rate of pre-destroy. Again, I will explain these things, so don't worry. At last, the last stage of all of us is common. That is called destruction. That is called destruction. Everything is destroyed. But what will happen here? Can we say this thing? The bean is removed from the container. So this is the life cycle of bean. That this is destroyed and now it is not available inside the container. But how we will do it, how this is going to be happen, that obviously we will see in the next class. You and tomorrow what will be the class flow? At first we will see how to do Java based configuration of beans. Java based configuration of beans, setting the values and other things. After that we will see how to do annotation based configuration of beans. After that we will see bean scope. Then we will see dependency, but not tomorrow. Actually tomorrow we will be able to do these two things. Like XML, why we are doing XML? So we will do the coding using Java based configuration or else annotation based configuration. This is going to be the class flow for tomorrow. I am giving you the source code of this file project as a zip file in the Google Classroom. What you have to do is same task you have to perform. Create a project, create a student class, set the properties, create at least 2 3 students like how I did today, right? Is everything clear what we did today? But zip file not working, sir. How zip file will work? You have to extract it, then it will work. Syllabus and all already I have uploaded. You can check syllabus, this one.